Hi everyone, Wasim Parkar over here yet again in my car getting ready to talk about the Wimbledon women's quarterfinals that take place on Tuesday. So I'm going to do a preview, and as I preview the quarterfinals, I'll also take the moment to sort of review and reflect on the round of 16 matches, which for the most part lived up to the expectations. Lots of good matches. Probably only Venus Williams' comprehensive win over Anna Konye was the straightforward one. Otherwise, a lot of the other matches had a good ebb and flow about them, very close, and it came down to fine margins. So the first women's quarterfinal for Wimbledon 2017 sees Garbine Muguruza take on Svetlana Kuznetsova. Before the tournament started, you'd be hard pressed to imagine that this would be a quarterfinal, but both of them are, of course, Grand Slam champions. Svetlana Kuznetsova winning the US Open in 2004 and the French Open in 2009. Grass has never been her best friend, but what I've noticed in this tournament, she's playing some of her most aggressive tennis. I haven't seen Kuznetsova play this aggressively in a long time. Take, for a matter of fact, her round of 16 win over Agi Radwanska. Some of you may remember I actually picked Radwanska to win this match because she had the greater grass court pedigree. But as it turned out, Kuznetsova won 6-2, 6-4. She had 37 winners in total in those two sets, which was just absolutely remarkable. And while she was very good on her first serve percentage, what she was also good on her second serve, she was winning about 67% of the points, which is quite remarkable. And if you have that sort of success rate on grass on your second serve, you will more likely win than lose a match. On the other hand, Agi Radwanska simply wasn't at her best and she had no answer. So can Kuznetsova beat Muguruza? Well, the way this Wimbledon has unfolded and the way the women's WTA Tour has unfolded this year, we really can't say anything with certainty. Everyone has a chance regardless of who the opponent is. What I will say, though, is that Garbine Muguruza is finally playing the tennis which made her a Wimbledon finalist and then a French Open winner the year later. Her match against Angelique Kerber was exceptional. 3 sets of high quality tennis. I think most of us would have been happy if that was the kind of match we saw in the final. That's how high the quality of the match was. And kudos to Muguruza. People are saying it's a bit of an upset for her to beat Kerber, but as I've said previously, these two women actually won 3 of the 4 Grand Slams last year. So in many ways, they were unfortunate to face each other so early in the round of 16. But it was a titanic match, and I think 3 things caught my eye about Garbine's performance. She was able to flatten out her backhand when necessary, but also win a lot of points with getting top spin on her backhand. And when Garbine is able to have both those options with her backhand, it enables her to play a more attacking game, which is ultimately her natural game. I also thought that her approach play and finishing points of the net was stupendous. And finally, the fact that she was able to think on her feet, she found solutions. After losing the first set, it was quite evident that she started hitting to Kerber in the center, inviting Kerber to generate the force, something that took Kerber out of her comfort zone. So it's nice to see that she was engaging her mind in a match. And if Garbine keeps up that level, I think she is the favorite over Kuznetsova, despite Kuznetsova having the higher seed. I think Muguruza has more weapons on grass. It's not just about agility. I also feel she has the advantage in the power stakes. Regardless, I don't say that with much confidence, as we've seen so many different things happen at the women's singles event at Wimbledon this year. It should be a close cracker, but I'm going with Garbine. Now, the winner of that match will play the winner of Magdalena Rybarikova versus Coco Vandeweghe. I thought Coco Vandeweghe's performance against Caroline Wozniacki was absolutely sensational. She was so steady, calm. She never looked like losing her serve. And it's not like Caroline Wozniacki played particularly badly or poorly. I just said Vandeweghe had too much for her. She had aces. She barely faced a break point. She was so much in control, whereas Wozniacki was just struggling to stay in her own service games. I think grass lends itself naturally to Vandeweghe's aggressive style of play, and if this is an open tournament, then Vandeweghe has as good a chance as anyone else to win it. I would say that she's a clear favorite over Rybarikova. The only thing is that Rybarikova, of course, did beat Karolina Pliskova. She looked quite nervous against Petra Martic in the round of 16, but I think for a player ranked number 87 to be considered a favorite at that stage of a tournament, it brings its own set of nerves, own sort of pressure, and I don't think Rybarikova actually knew how to handle it. Now, again, she's going to be the underdog against Vandeweghe, Wey, and maybe that will suit her and free her up. I still think Van der Wey is a clear favorite, but it's all between the years. If Van der Wey maybe thinks that she's already in the semifinals, she might become complacent and she might lose, but I'd be very surprised if Coco didn't make it to a second Grand Slam semifinal of the year. The third quarterfinal is a really intriguing one. Venus Williams versus Yelena Ostapenko. I thought Venus played her best match of the tournament when she beat Anna Konye 6-3, 6-2. When Venus is moving well and hitting winners of both wings down the line, I find that she's at her best, because at front foot forward, nice swinging forehand down the line, front foot forward, nice double-handed backhand down the line. When she is playing those shots, she's incredibly hard to stop. She was moving with such grace and agility. For someone 37, it's quite remarkable. Yelena Ostapenko, the legend, continues to grow. The 20-year-old who won the French Open, she's followed it up by making it to the quarterfinals at Wimbledon, which is a great thing, because I think all of us have been sick of tired of some women making a breakthrough at the Grand Slam and then just not maintaining. The fact that she won the French Open out of the blue, many of us wouldn't have been surprised if she wouldn't have been able to cope with that increased expectation at Wimbledon. But somehow she's playing so freely that she doesn't seem to clog her mind. Even in a victory over Elina Svitolina in the fourth round, she had 8 match points. Now, most players after losing 7 match points would be so disheartened, but Ostapenko seems to have this special power that she's able to forget things that would get most other players down very easily. If she misses a shot, she doesn't let it affect her emotionally too much. She's able to play with that same freedom in the next match. So of course, you think Ostapenko has a big game to defeat Venus, but I think experience also plays a big factor at this stage. And does Ostapenko have the defense? Right? Because to beat Venus, you can't only be the aggressor, you also have to have good defense. And I'm not sure, as talented as Yelena is, that she has a defense. But one thing Ostapenko has taught us is that we can't rule her out in any game. So I give Venus the edge over here, but expect Ostapenko to play some firebrand tennis in this match. And then the last quarterfinal, Simona Halep versus Jo Konta. Of course, this is the story that the whole of England is supporting. Everyone wants Konta to make it to the final, be the first female champion at Wimbledon from Britain in a long time, since Virginia Wade in 77. Let's see if that happens. I think she's got the game to challenge Halep. She has a better head-to-head against Halep. She's got more power. For Konta, I think it's really about being switched on mentally. If she's mentally focused and serving well, I think her game will naturally put Halep on the back foot. Now, Halep has become more aggressive in this Wimbledon, but if she's on the back foot, she doesn't have that natural power to turn defense into offense. If the ball is short, yes, Halep will punish you, and I thought she was excellent against Azarenka. I think Azarenka's lack of match fitness caught up to her, and that's why Halep was able to beat her. Konta had a very tricky match against Caroline Garcia, but I don't think Halep has the weapons that Garcia has. So I think if Konta is focused and doesn't let the occasion get the better of her, she may be able to become the first British woman to make the semifinals in more than 30 years at Wimbledon. So we're set for 4 cracking quarterfinals. Garbiñe Muguruza versus Svetlana Kuznetsova, Venus Williams versus Anna Konye, Magdalena Rybarikova versus Coco van der Wey, and Jo Konta versus Simona Halep. I can't wait to watch them. I hope all of you get to enjoy some great tennis in the women's quarterfinals.